Okay, what is up YouTube? In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Asus Q200E. Now this is going to be my review, so let's go ahead and get started. So looking around it, it is very slim. You can see over here on the left hand side, you have your charging port, which is very small. You have an Ethernet jack if you choose to use wired internet. You also do have a HDMI port, a USB 3.0, USB 2.0, and Kingston security lock. You can see how slim this thing is as I go around it. Over here on the right side, you have your SD card slot, which always comes in handy, your microphone and headphone jack, another USB 2.0, and a VGA. Now you can see on the back you have a metal hinge, which really helps when using the touchscreen, so it is not wobbling back and forth when you're trying to touch it, because in a lot of other touchscreen notebooks and computers, the screens are not good at all, but this one does stay very firm. You can see up here on the top, you do have a nice finish with the Asus logo in chrome. So let's go ahead and sit it back down and hop inside so we can take a look at some other things. Okay, so now that we're back inside, I'm just going to go over some of the specs of this thing. So it does have a 500GB hard drive, 4GB of DDR3 RAM, the second generation Core i3 processor, which does kind of suck, and it does get a little bit hotter than some of the other ones. I wish they would have put at least an i5 in here, but for $400, it's not all that bad. Also, it does have Wi-Fi like any other laptop would. It has a very nice touchpad on it, and that's always nice using Windows 8 because you need to use multi-gesture and things like that. I found Windows 8 very easy getting used to, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Windows 8 layout and see how well it actually performs. Okay, so here we have the Windows 7 type screen that is on Windows 8, so that is pretty cool. If you don't like the Windows 8 user interface, then this is very awesome. So you can see I'm running Magic's Movie Edit Pro 2013 on here, so it is capable of running HD editing softwares, so it is very capable of that, even though the specs are not the highest. The touchscreen is very responsive, and you will see that now as I click on the X right there. It does work very easily, so no problems with that. So here's the typical Windows 8 screen right here, and you can see all the little tiles, and you can see all of your installed applications, but I do tend to use the desktop a whole lot more than I use this. So let's go ahead and open up the store, and this is something I really like about Windows 8 because it's kind of like the app market. You don't have as many apps or games, but it is pretty cool. So now let's just go ahead and install Newegg, and you can see just how quickly it installs, and I'm sure if you have faster internet it will install a whole lot quicker. So you can see it there in the top right hand corner, it does say installing, and it will let you know what is installing, and there it is, it's installed. So swiping from the right of the screen will bring you up this little bar, and it has search. You can share stuff, your start and settings and everything like that. So you can search anything in the app market using this. You can search your settings, your apps, and your files. So you can search your control panel and everything like that. So it is pretty easy to use if you are using this and not using the little Windows 8 cheat thing that I'm about to show y'all. So let's just open up settings, and you can see you got to click power to go to shutdown, so that's kind of a hassle, but if you install this thing that I will show y'all, it will make everything a whole lot easier. So pulling down from the top of an application will close it, and I find that pretty cool. You don't have to take your mouse and go up to the top. You can just swipe down from the top, and there you are, you're out of it. So it's a pretty good experience, really no problems with that. So let's go ahead and show you what I mean. Here's the little cheat thing that you can download. It's called Pocky, P-O-K-K-I, and this is kind of like a Windows 7 start button. You have your shutdown and everything very close, so I really do enjoy using this. You can search your computer, so it's pretty much just like it is on Windows 7, because I know Windows 8 can be a little bit of a hassle. Okay, so now I'm just going to talk about the build quality of this thing, because the build quality is very, very good. So I really do like how it is made out of all metal pretty much, except for the bottom and this little plastic bar that is across the top. Now I've actually dropped this thing from about waist high, and I have spilt a McDonald's tea on top of it when I dropped it. So I was very worried that it was not going to work, but it did work very good, and that's good to know that it did not break. That shows me that it is built good. Nothing snapped apart or anything like that. And you can just see how slim it is. You can really throw it in your book bag quite easily, and it comes in at 3 pounds, so it's very, very light compared to some of the other bigger laptops. Now it does have the 11.6-inch screen, like I said, so it is going to give you a pretty good size screen. It's not too small at all. And you can see the finish on top of this thing is kind of like a scratched finish. I don't really know how to explain that really, but it does look like it's been scratched, but of course that is how it came. And it does get scratched very easily, but the scratches do not show up too good because of the finish that is on it. Then you have your Asus logo right there, like I said, that is in chrome. So it does look very appealing, and you can see this little plastic bar on the lid, and that is for better Wi-Fi reception. Here on the bottom you have this soft touch type plastic, and you have some little ventilation ports right there, and that will help with keeping it cool, and it also does get some grip because of the little rubber feet. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and take a look at things like the keyboard and the trackpad and some of the little LED indicator lights that this thing has on it. So when you open up the lid, you can see that the keyboard is a very nice size. We'll get back to that in a second. But you have your little Core i3 sticker right there. And you see where it says Sonic Master? That has to do with the audio. Some way that the speakers like just come directly out of the case or something. I'm not really sure. But you can see the keyboard is very big, and it is pretty comfortable for typing. Now this might sound weird, but the edges on this thing are quite sharp, so resting your wrist up against them starts to hurt after a little while, and I guess that's not really something that can bother you a whole lot, but that edge down there will start to hurt. Here you have your multi-gesture trackpad, which you really need to use during Windows 8. It is quite big for a notebook of this size, and that's always a good thing. Down here in the bottom right, you have your little LED indicator lights. That one is to tell you if the screen is on. That one tells you if your battery is charging, if it's accessing your hard drive right there, if you are connected to Wi-Fi, and if your caps lock is on. So that's what all the LED indicators are. They're pretty much basic for all laptops, notebooks, and netbooks nowadays. Down here on the bottom of the screen, you can see you have some more Asus branding. And up here on top is where you will find your 1.3 megapixel webcam, as well as 2 microphones on the right and left. So it does pick up some pretty good audio. So I can't really complain about that. It's not a super high quality webcam, but it will get you through with Skype and other various things like that. So you do have quite a border around the touchscreen too, and it's just a black border, but really no problem with it at all. That's just something to note. And you can see that down here your glass pretty much goes all the way to the end, and I've heard where people have dropped theirs and it's broke, but really no problem with mine so far. I will always update you if I have had any problems with it. So for the last clip, we're just going to talk about the performance, if I think you should buy it, if it's worth the price. Now, one thing I want to note, I'm going to go ahead and hold it up to the microphone so you can hear how loud the fans are. Now, I do have my editing software open, so the fans are turning at pretty much full speed right now. And you can probably hear them while I'm recording because I have it sitting in my lap. Now, they are not that loud when it's sitting in your lap, but because you have it put all the way up to the microphone, it does amplify the sound a little bit. You can run video editing software just about on here, so that's very nice. And that it videos up really quick. No problems with Wi-Fi or anything. Best Buy has a set right now for $400. That's $100 off, and I would really recommend you to go pick this up. The screen is good, the quality's good, the camera is pretty good, the screen resolution is good as well, and it's very appealing, and no complaints at all. This is a pretty bad little computer for the price. So that's it. I hope you did. Give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and don't forget to subscribe.